Good evening. I'm Ray Mattis. I'm the Director of Security at the Agnes Irwin School. I'll give you a little synopsis of what we did here. Over the summertime, I had a safety audit done at the school. The safety audit came back that we needed to improve the outside lighting around the main school. Prior to that, we've had issues on some of our fields there. The lighting was poor. We've had issues with underage drinking, some minor vandalism, and my cameras couldn't pick it up because the lighting wasn't sufficient enough. So I spoke to Chief Flanagan about it. He felt that we needed to improve the lights around the buildings, which would improve my cameras, and he also said that it would help the officers when they're driving by, then they can look at the fields from South Ithan and Browning Lane is the other issue. So what happened was, what I did not know that I had to come in front of the Design and Review Board. So what I basically did, spoke to our vendor. Our vendor advised that there is a rebate for the lights because we were going to change the sodium out to the LED, the new style lights. So basically what we did was I replaced all the lights identical to what was there, except they're now LED. Why we're here tonight is because I got an email from Kevin Kachansky that there was a resident that had concern the light was shining in the windows. So he advised me to put up shields on the wall mount lighting in the back of the school. I did install the shields, and I've been back and forth with the neighbor. He was satisfied with the shields that I put up on the back, and it's not protruding into his home. So that's what I did on that aspect of it. So why I'm here is to get the approval from the board, and then Mr. Kachansky advised me that once that happens, then we do have to apply still to get the permit. All the lights, everything is up already. I did it over the summertime. So that's why I'm here.
So, quick question, the lights that were replaced were the lights that were installed in the summer?
Correct.
Thank you.
Another question, there are no new lights.
Yes.
They're just new fixtures.
Correct. Yes.
Was there
They're all LED now.
Was there one new parking lot light?
There was one light, you see right here, the field, there's a walkway there. It's not even a street light. It's going to be a pole with a light pointing down. It's going to have a switch on it.
Right.
And then we would just activate that because we have a lot of events at nighttime, and it's pitch dark here.
Gotcha.
So that would be off of just a regular switch that we would turn off and on.
Which lights are problematic to neighbors?
Um,
On which building?
It is back here. These are homes up here.
That's Browning back there?
No, Browning's over here.
These are the people that share a driveway.
These houses right here, their driveways on Conestoga Road.
It's a shared driveway, there's several houses.
Right, exactly.
And one of
So-
them's yours, right?
Pardon me?
Do you own one of those houses?
Yes.
So are we getting complaints about all those lights along that fence line?
The gentleman that I've been speaking to, his house is located like right here. Let's see, right about here. And all back here is where I installed the shields.
And are the shields on the lights themselves?
Yeah, I screwed them, yeah, I had them installed. These are, I'll show you.
Pictures of the shields?
Pardon me?
Do you have any pictures, or?
Here is, these are the wall mounts that went up in the back. Okay, and then, this might be hard to see. see, there's the shields. That mount on the front of that, and I have them tilted all the way down. And I did notice the difference by adding those, how it just diverts the light downward and not out into the skylight.
Yeah. So in other words, you've also made them dark sky lights, which is what Villanova did.
Yes. Yes.
And since applying the screens, are neighbors still are annoyed with the lights?
No, since I put them up, I haven't had any, I just was contacted with him and told him I put them up, and he says, yes, I did notice a difference.
And when were they put up?
Oh, maybe 2 weeks ago? I actually did it myself.
Yeah, after Mr. Mattis has done his presentation, yeah.
At this point, with the shields applied to the lights, does the light extend past the boundary of Agnes Irwin's property?
No.
You guys are good?
That's the only question I have.
Okay. Colin?
It did, a lot of it did go past.
Right, when the light's shooting this way,
Yeah.
yeah, it did, but now you put the shield
Yeah.
on it, and now it's not passing
Correct.
the boundary of your lot,
Yes.
Jane, you have
which I
any
believe is what
comments?
the
No, I'm assuming that.
ordinance, the light ordinance was designed to establish.
Right.
You've had no comment on the lights that are in the parking lot, which are obviously closer to the neighbors. They're not shining horizontally, they're just shining down.
In the parking lot?
Yeah, in the parking lot.
They are like a tiered, so they shoot straight down, and they were just changed out to the LED light.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot directly down onto the parking lot.
That's what because you would think that would be the one that was
Right.
causing the issue, but it's not. It was the ones that were mounted on the
Do
wall.
they stay on all night, or they cut the?
Yes, they're all all night.
All night, okay, all right. Okay, good. Justin, any comments on this application?
I just have one question. Have you taken a photo or any type of image of them afterwards? Maybe it'll help the board see what that shield looks like. Is the board aware of what that shield looks like applied?
Just by the spec
Yeah.
sheet.
Right.
You guys feel good?
I've
Yeah.
seen the light
Okay.
shields before, so
Mhm.
I know what you're talking about.
No worries.
It's affixed to the actual
Yep.
light unit.
Yep.
Screwed in or something.
Yep,
that's
I screwed 'em in.
stationary. Yeah,
Perfect.
I knew that, but I'm
Yeah.
saying that the actual application of it it's fixed with the angle.
Yes,
to
I can
keep it
adjust
from
the
going up.
angle down, and that's what I did. I turned it as far down as it could go. So it's just illuminating a small area around the school.
Yeah, last year we had that issue with the Verizon
Yes.
building and the house next door, and they somehow have a mobile one, so if they have to flick it up, they can, but they
Right.
point it down.
Mhm.
They did the same thing.
Yeah,
That would be my only question, board.
okay. All right. So, Ray, is there anything else you want to bring before the board?
I can't, unless you have any other questions, no,
Okay.
I don't have any.
Okay, so let me just ask, is there any public participation tonight? Okay. All right, you can come forward, please. Okay, yeah.
Put it in here, or?
Let's get,
We'll have to ask.
one second, here we go.
Right on cue.
Here's our technical guy.
Just for the record, I'm Andrew Bolden. I live at 120 Browning Lane.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay. So our home is situated right across the street from Agnes Irwin, the upper field. And you'll see some photos here where we are.
okay.
We've lived there since 2016. In the beginning of November, we noticed new exterior lights behind the gym and the tennis courts there. The courts are actually surrounded, as you can see, with a high fence, which is always locked, and it's about 10 or 12-foot fence. I guess.
I'm not sure the mic is picking you up.
like the JPEGs work, so if you want.
Yeah, the JPEG should work.
All right, you can just, I guess we can just use that one.
There's 3 JPEGs.
Okay. All right, so as you can see, this is from our front yard. And you can see obviously with the iPhone, it makes it more dramatic than probably it is, but still, you can see in our house,
Yeah.
the lights coming through the front room where we can actually read a newspaper with the lights.
Andrew, can I ask you just to talk just a
Yeah,
little loud?
sorry about that. The 3 lights that you can see in the back there where the tennis courts are, they don't have any hoods, and those seem to be the worst of the offenders of disrupting our house. As I said, we first noticed these at the beginning of November. My wife actually called over to the school, and they emailed back saying that they were going to take care of it, but we never heard anything back. I guess, as I said, the tennis courts seem to be the worst offenders just because they don't have the hoods. The ones on the side of the gym do have hoods, but still they're high voltage or very luminous where they can actually come across into the neighbors' houses. I know one of the neighbors is here too that he can see in his house. They disrupt us all the time. We see it in the morning. They come on probably just around sunset, and then sometimes they're on until about 8 a.m. in the morning, depending on if it's a dark day, it seems like. As I said, it's very disruptive to our house. We had our 2 college kids home for the winter break. They actually live in the front of the house. We have blackout curtains, but sometimes they woke up in the middle of the night. They had no clue if it was nighttime or daytime because of the light coming in.
Now, this photograph was taken before the shields were installed?
The shields that Ray was talking about, I don't think were put on those 3 back where the tennis courts are.
When was this picture taken?
Late November, right?
Christmas time?
Yeah, I'm not seeing those lights on the left side of the tennis court on this drawing.
I think those are on the other building.
You sure?
Yeah, I think they would come through from the other
Oh,
building.
is that what we're seeing?
It's that back corner of the,
Is that correct, Ray? Is that building 4 and 5 that we're seeing in the distance? To the left of the
tree
in the
way in
center.
the back?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what that is, to be honest with you.
Is it this?
Because that looks the brightest out of them all.
yeah,
Right, be easier to use this?
It's probably the light on building 4.
that's what I was thinking. Is
Yeah,
either-
I think the one that on the far left there, that comes on once in a while, but that's actually very blinding to, like, if you're driving up the street, it comes right in your face.
Pretty obscene.
Yeah, I can look and see what that one way to the left could possibly be either be coming down from the lower school, which we did nothing with, or it could be one where I now installed a shield. That whole back side along there has shields on them now.
When you're referring to the backside, you mean the side?
Where the
that
tennis
has
courts.
Yeah, that has the gable ends.
Yes.
Not the gable end, the long end.
Yes, from where you see where the tennis courts are, where the fence is, all the way down, they all have shields on them.
So the front side, furthest to the right.
Right,
Those don't
that
have
is
shields.
original lights. I did nothing with those.
Oh, okay.
They're original. They have been off for the longest time. There was a problem with the program system, which we got working, and now they're activated. They're LED lights, which they've been there as long as I've been there, for 5 years. They just weren't on.
I mean, is it a matter that it's just not properly designed and maybe the lumens are too bright or the foot candles? I'm not a lighting expert, but it does look pretty bright.
I think when you get up around 5,000 lumens, they're really bright.
Where are we, do we know?
Yeah,
You know,
these
the
Yeah.
thing is just saying it's
Well, see, you're seeing the picture without the shields on them. I think there's a big difference with the shields on them now.
I disagree. I don't think the shields have made much of a difference from what we're seeing. Yeah, I don't think the shields have made much of a difference from what we're seeing anymore, I mean, in the mornings. Yeah, the one thing we notice is if you go around Villanova University, as you were talking about the lumens, they seem to have like a more of a golden, warmer color on their lights. The lights are directed downward for a purpose. They're not as jarring as these lights.
Justin?
So, just a quick question. Did Agnes Irwin do any type of study or anything to make sure, because you said earlier, they're identical to what was there?
Fixture-wise,
Just
shape and
fixture-wise,
size, yeah,
Not actually what they project?
correct.
Foot candles,
Correct.
none of that is
Yeah,
identical.
that-
So,
you-
so that's casting a daylight style
Yeah.
of light, whereas what's existing is more of a warmth,
Correct.
natural light. Okay, so even the light style has changed. It's just what he said earlier. I want to make
Yeah.
sure the
Oh,
board
yeah.
is clear.
Yeah, you sent me an email. That's coming. You wanted, something about the distance?
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to, and I did write it in, I wanted to
Correct.
be aware, and maybe you could provide the board even, what the foot candles are.
Correct.
What's received by the neighbor from the distance of the lot line, like, there's the ability for that to be calculated. That would have helped the board as well.
Yeah,
So the light study that you can get will actually take a map of your property and it'll show the candle with, or candle, what is the? Foot candle.
Foot
Candles at every like interval all the way to the edge of your property and even extending beyond.
correct.
That's because back, when we were speaking about Villanova, back when Villanova put their lights up, there was a big hubbub and now there's a light ordinance, I believe that went into effect right around
No.
then. And it actually requires that the foot candles don't exceed, and make sure that the light doesn't exceed your property and the way that the angling of the lights. So I think that's probably what we're looking at here. We probably just need to have the study done to figure out what's there, so that we can figure out what can stay or needs to be improved.
Right. Justin sent me an email Monday. I sent it to the vendor. The vendor couldn't have it done by tonight. But they're doing that. You're like you said, take a Google Earth shot of it, and then they can map it out how far it's projecting out. So that's what I just didn't have it tonight because I got the email from Justin, and that's coming. That's
So
in.
I would suggest
Just
that we
continue it.
continue this matter.
Yeah, I think-
to
I
allow
think
for
we'll
that
need
study
to.
be submitted.
Yeah.
And then also, it seems like one of the issues here is possibly a light that might not even be one of the ones that was affected by this, that on that one image, the one on the left side of that tree, to see where that light was.
I will take pictures since the shields are up. I'll take
Andrew,
some.
where's this light?
This is from our kitchen, which is in the back of the house. As you can see, that's towards the 3 lights on the tennis courts.
Okay.
Oh, okay, but that's before the shields. You don't
Yes.
have any
Yeah, but
current ones.
I would disagree with Ray. I don't think the shields have done much to bring down the light
We
coming
would
into
like
our
a
house.
photo of them with the shields at night.
Yeah.
When you resubmit the,
Yeah, I believe there's 6 lights at the tennis courts. I have 3 of them turned off right now, and the other 3 have shields on them.
Okay.
The three that have the shields are the ones that are on the back of the gym?
The tennis courts.
Yeah, that are on the back
Yes,
side of the
correct.
gym. And then on the east side of the gym, we also saw a bunch of lights there, but those were not affected by what you've done here. Those were the ones that were already there?
They've been there, yes. They just weren't on. And they're LEDs. And they point directly downward
Okay.
onto the sidewalk there.
All right.
There's a sidewalk along the side.
in addition with your resubmission, I think we would need to see the lumens for the lights. What light has what lumens in it? Is it 4,000, 5,000?
Specs have it.
I think it's,
That changes the color of the light? The warmer color that reminds us all of the incandescents are the lower lumens.
I think what I'll do is, because there's a switch in each one of these lights that you can change the color as well.
Oh, okay.
So I'll take some the way they are, I'll change the color,
Okay.
take some photos with that, and then take some photos with the shields that I have up now, so you can compare
And also,
the.
Mr. Ballman, after they, hope you can communicate with each other, can you take photos from your house after they have done that too?
Yes.
Right.
Next meeting.
Good. And Andrew, you have some fellow neighbors here tonight, so are you done with your presentation then?
I'm done, yeah.
Okay. Jen?
in addition, this has nothing to do with lighting, but maybe you want to consider planting an evergreen screen along the property line with these neighbors? That would help.
Yeah, there's,
There's no screening here.
right, I think they do, there's some
There's some
possible
arborvitae
construction
there.
coming in the future,
Oh, okay.
and I think they have all greenery along that, their planned.
Okay, good.
Do you know, and I'm just going to interject quickly, Mr. Madison, do you know, I see that from the specs here that each of the different units have different color temperature ratings that you can, are these changeable?
Yes, there's a switch in there.
So right now you might have it on the cool blue.
Correct.
And there's, would you be averse
Yeah,
to changing?
well,
it to
I can
cool?
change those and see, and
Yeah.
compare them. My main issue was, when there was activity going on here at nighttime, my cameras weren't showing, I couldn't see what they were doing on the fields.
Okay.
So now with the way they're set up now is, for safety reasons, I can see everything now on the cameras when I have issues on the fields at nighttime.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, sir?
Good evening. My name is Joseph Petrilli. I live at 121 Browning Lane.
Okay. Nice to have you here.
And relative to the Agnes Irwin property, this particular fence line is actually my property between the street and the fence itself. My line runs from approximately 200 yards along the property line. So as you can see in this picture, based on what Chris and they had taken, this right now depicts actually what you actually see today.
Okay.
I'll provide pictures, but here on the building on the end, which is the most eastern side, those lights are as bright as you see them. They're as bright as they are today.
Okay.
Inside my house, as Chris mentioned, I can, in the evening, with the newspaper, I can read the newspaper with the lighting that's shining into my house from the luminescence. Also, from the side is the west, looking from my house, I'm actually looking to the west. The light is so bright, I can't even see the stars at night, which I typically would see in the past. Also, on the property, we have wildlife, and I got screech owls. So with all this light pollution, I don't know what the impact that is doing to the screech owls in the area, that they're in the trees on the property. Likewise, too, I work with a lot of industrial customers, power plants, refineries, and the lighting here is much more intense than I see at an industrial complex. So I'm just curious of the intensity, as you mentioned here, about the lumens and the foot candles. But they really extend into my property, into my house, way into the house, just as Chris depicted in his pictures from rooms from the back of the house, how bright the lights are. So these are the things I would bring up with Chris. But the fact that my property line extends along this whole distance is a concern of mine.
Okay.
And even though he mentioned the fact that these lights on the eastern side have been there for years, and they said they recently have turned them on, and now that light is just coming into the house.
Gotcha.
So just wanted to share that with you.
All right, good.
If you want me to provide you pictures, I can provide that to the board if
Well, you're more than welcome
necessary.
to come back next month.
Okay, great, thank
Continue
you.
to next month.
Appreciate it.
And sir, it's Mr. Turley, is it?
Joseph Petrilli, that's spelled Petrile.
LLE.
I've been married with my wife. She's been a resident there for 25 years, so we've never seen this much light coming into the house.
Okay.
So appreciate it,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else tonight? Public participation? We're good? Okay. Andrew, you good?
Thank you.
You're all set, okay. Mr. Mattis, anything else you'd like to interject?
No, other than I'll come back next month, I'll take
Yeah.
photos.
Mm-hmm.
The one picture on that gable end, those lights have been there.
Okay,
It's just that they're on now.
okay, all right,
So I don't know how you want me to go about those on the side of the building.
okay. Well, it sounds like you're going to work with the neighbors,
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
You guys will hammer out an agreement,
Yeah.
I'm sure, so.
Absolutely.
One more question. I noticed on the application, they are putting a large bullhorn on the property. curious what the
I noticed that too.
just curious what the purpose of that is, and is that being directed towards my house, or how's that being directed as a part of this?
It's like
I know
down
this
in
is
the
a
print near the
light,
bottom.
but it also is mentioning about a bullhorn being installed out on the property.
Do you know anything about that?
I don't see that on here.
Oh, I
Bull-
saw it.
Really?
I don't know where I saw it, but I saw it. There it is. It's near the bottom of page 1, where the electrical.
Oh, yeah. Install one bullhorn.
I think that's the type of light fixture
Yeah.
that is. That's the type of light
Right.
fixture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not to
That's
tell
what it
all
is.
the
No,
girls,
no, we're not
get
putting that.
inside,
Yeah.
get inside.
Bullhorn,
Recess
I was
is
like-
over.
I'd have an issue with that, too.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else then? Mr. Mattis, you're good? Okay, can we ask,
Well, what are we doing here? Are we asking Mr. Mattis to come back with a formal light design?
I would
Because I
say
think-
yes, as best you can.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll have, no, the vendor's in the process of completing that. I'll bring that back. I will bring photos back with the shields. I will see if I'll change the settings to different, I think one, there's like a amber color.
Well, that's the low.
Yeah.
That's the low lumens will be more yellow.
Right.
And the higher lumens are the blue whites.
The blue.
Okay.
Okay.
If I may, I just have a question for Justin here. In terms of our board's purview, obviously the design and the aesthetics of the lights is something that's within ours because they're a fixture going on side of the property, the industrial property, or institutional property. When it comes to the actual application and enforcement of the lighting ordinance, that doesn't seem like
Isn't
that's
mine.
something that is this board's purview per se. Obviously, the lighting units that we would have to, approve their application, the application for the installation of them, they would also need to meet that requirement, but whether we are the body that enforces that, I don't think that's necessarily the case,
Um,
right?
I also have a question.
So I want to make sure I understand your question. Just give it to me one more time. You
It's
want to
not-
know whether this body has anything to do with the light that's being emitted
Right.
and what's actually happening to the neighbors by way of design.
Well, we have some impact when it comes to the design aspect of it. I'm with you on that, but actually enforcing to make sure that the lights are not extending past the property lines, that it's complying with the light ordinance and the zero dark sky and all those different requirements that came into effect. Whether we are the ones that actually are the ones that are the arbiters of that decision. I don't think that's us deciding whether the lighting fixtures themselves comply with the ordinance.
There's
Yeah.
no ordinance. We don't have a lighting ordinance.
So that would be,
We
Was that
have,
not installed back in?
no, my husband looked into it with other engineers, and it was decided that our lighting regulations would stay within the specific ordinances that affect specific properties, because you can't have a one-size-fits-all lighting ordinance. So I think the lighting ordinance that would affect Agnes Irwin is probably either in the institutional zoning or whatever zoning area you're in, but I'm unsure of that.
so this is where Kevin comes into play as our
Yes,
zoning,
this is Kevin's
as our
thing.
zoning
Yeah, this is
officer.
Kevin's thing.
So we just want to be clear.
Yeah,
So
this is Kevin.
that's where we get the language of the foot candles from. It
Yeah.
comes right from the zoning code as far as
I think
what they
that's where
should
it is.
actually
That's where it
emit.
lives.
So there is a limit to what's being considered here, but Kevin will still be the enforcer
Right.
thereafter as the zoning
That's
code.
what I just wanted to clarify.
Not a problem. But having this information here helps Kevin to actually make
Yes.
the
No doubt
necessary
about it.
moves. So
Okay.
thank you for asking the question.
Okay. All right, so do a continuation then. Tim, you feel that's the best way?
I would say let's continue it to see if we can get this resolved in
Right.
terms of what's being presented for.
All right, do you want to make a formal?
Sure.
Okay.
In the matter of DRB 2025-08, I move to continue this matter.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.